All right, all right. What's going on, party people? This is your man Grill. Um, just wanted to do a quick video. I was gonna make this one of my fancy videos with documents and all of that stuff, and I'm tired. I ain't gonna joke. Look, y'all know how it is, man. So and as always, I appreciate each and every one of you for popping in. I really do. I really do appreciate you. Reading your comments, and trust me, I do read the comments. I do read your comments, and I try to answer back to everybody. Um, I think I'm probably at about 90-95% able to answer back everybody, or the question, especially ones I clearly see needs to be answered. Um, but yeah, I'm a little tired, but at the same time, I wanted to do this video because I've been thinking about some things. And as the title says, I almost, basically almost messed up my notary business a while back. And this is when I first started. Um, and what I did was, and you could probably say it's a man thing, my wife would, or a grift thing, is I wasn't reading instructions. And note what I'm saying. I can't say that I wasn't following them because you can't follow something you didn't read. It was like, and I mean, you could say, yeah, you wasn't following instructions, but I wasn't even reading them. And basically, in the beginning of my notary career, I was reading everything. And then I got comfortable thinking that, oh, okay, yeah, I know what this is. I know what they are. And what started tripping me up was, and this is really the first time I ever talked, I think this is the first time I ever talked about this. What tripped me up was when I realized I got a title company and the lender who I've done closings with before, and then all of a sudden there was something different. And what I learned was that sometimes, depending on the type of loan that a title and a lender is dealing with, that can change how we're supposed to handle certain things. Case in point, in some cases, like with Bank of America, you don't do IDs. You don't take pictures of IDs. That's their policy for the most part. You don't take pictures of them. Bank of America also says you can't text their client. So you're trying to communicate with the client to get a confirmation. They won't pick up the phone. So you do as you've done with other people. You send them a text. Man, I made that mistake several times because I didn't read the instructions, because I was looking for the instructions in one place that I was used to, which was inside the loan packet or in the instructions or the confirmation that came. Well, come to find out, Bank of America in SnapDocs had additional instructions, and I didn't look at those. So here I am texting the client, and then all of a sudden, when I finally decided to read the instructions, oh, now I see, oh man, I shouldn't have been doing that. One time I didn't follow the instructions. I read through the instructions, also more so glanced at them, and I ended up having the people sign the documents incorrect. Or just one lady, it was some trust documents, and I did a trust a couple of days before where the people signed with all this trustee verbiage. For her, they didn't want that, and the instructions said so, and I did not read them. And because of that, it messed some stuff up. It really, really did. It messed some stuff up. Not to the point, I don't think, of the Texas HELOC thing, but I got a phone call and the guy was like, hey, you're one of our best notaries. And I said, you know what? I completely made a mistake. I said, I got off focus because I had done a reverse mortgage a couple of days ago. ... So I figured out real quick what the problem was. It was just my mind was in a particular mindset. So I had to learn that with each order, it can be different. It can be different from, because it's a VA or a cash out VA or this cash, all kinds. If they put a certain money down, all these different things and conditions that they may have on these loans that really don't affect our notarizations, but they affect other little areas, little small things that we can do with the loan, for as how we collect IDs, how fast we scan back, all of that. So I learned the hard way that I needed to pay more attention to the instructions. And as I followed those instructions, I got better and better at doing my job, but I also gained more respect and notoriety with the companies, because when the pandemic hit and all these other notaries hopped in and a lot of them just wasn't following directions at all, it made me look good because I was doing it. And if I made a mistake, I quickly corrected it. So earlier today, I was talking with a client. They called me, asked me to do a closing for them in July. I said no problem, because I already knew I didn't have anything booked in July. So I was like, yeah, and this is after the holidays, because I'm going to take pretty much the first 4 days of the month off. I'm not going to do any closings and just sort of rest and recuperate and get a lot of admin stuff done. So me and her was talking. She was telling me about the order. I said, okay, gotcha. And then I said, can I ask you a question? And I explained to her that I started a notary training business. And she said, okay, that's great. And I said, I want to know, what is the biggest issue or issues that y'all are having with notaries, so that if I haven't incorporated that information into my training, I can. And she said, well, the biggest issue we have is notaries not following instructions, not reading them, not following them. And then when they reply back or they communicate with us through the platform, they do it in a mean way. They're not nice. They're not pleasant in the way they talk to us. And I was like, I said, okay. Now I knew about notaries not reading instructions, but the one about notaries basically talking smack, I was like, you know what? Didn't really think about that and hadn't really heard anything. And then I said, well, most notaries ain't going to admit that I'm talking smack via the portal chat thing. It's a lot of the signing companies, they have the little chat thing. So I was like, got it. And she said they need to watch themselves, because they really are being disrespectful. So I was like, yeah. And now that was never me to be disrespectful, but my issue was I got complacent in thinking that I knew everything, or felt like I knew a lot, and I didn't need to read the instructions. And then with the instructions, oh man, now they've gotten a lot more comprehensive. If y'all seen that my last live I did, the one especially with me and Matherin, toward the end, I was showing my screen of some instructions, and they was telling me everything to do. I mean, literally telling me what documents needed to sign, and really was reminding the notary about every single document in there that needed to be signed. And I'm like, telling you, make sure you have sign and date the 4506T, sign and date the addendum to the loan application, sign and date the hazardous insurance information. I'm like, well, that's stand. I mean, you should know to do that. I mean, it's clear because it has a signature line on there. But they had over 30 different pieces of instruction. And I'm like, wow, this is really, 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 really to the extreme that you're looking at 30 pieces of instruction that tells you what you're supposed to be doing. And I'm like, man. So I'm finding out that a lot of notaries have ruined their careers by not following directions, not reaching out to the signing companies about the directions. I remember a couple of people told me that how they will call the signing company for questions, and the signing company will be like, it's in the instructions. And I identify with that because that happened to me several times. I did that. And I learned real quick, okay, let me stop. And what it is, a lot of people are like, well, I'm going to just check. I just want to check to make sure. And then I find out some people have seen the instructions, read the instructions, but then they still question the validity of the instructions. I'm like, if you've seen the instructions, you read them, and you understand them, you got full comprehension of the instructions, then what is there to ask? Well, I just want to make sure. And I'm like, but the instructions have told you what to do. Why do you think that it would be wrong for you to do what the instructions have directed you to do? Nothing but, I just want to check. I just want to make sure before I do it. And I'm like, so you're going to call the people who gave you the instructions and ask them whether or not you should be following those instructions? I said, I'm not that bold. You gave me the instructions. If there's something that I don't understand in the instructions, I get clarity. But when you say you understand them, but you just want somebody to tell you that you need to follow those instructions, or tell you that the instructions were correct before you do them, even though you understand them, that's the part that I don't understand. So that kind of stuff can be worrisome and bothersome to some of these signing companies. So, when I look back on it, I'm like, yeah, I sort of did mess my career up, because there's a couple of companies I know they probably don't mess with me because of the mistakes I made in the past, but I've bounced back from that. And then I got a lot more companies that are contacting me and using me, and it's great. But you need to understand that if you plan on being in this business any length of time, you really do need to correct your mistakes or the mistake of not following instructions, which starts with you first reading the instructions. If you get into reading the instructions, then it'll be easier for you to follow. But you got to read the instructions first. Okay. So I just wanted to share that with y'all tonight. I'm about to go work on some other stuff, and already got my docs printed out for tomorrow. One of them's only 19 pages, so I'm excited about that. And then do what I do, get me some rest and all that good stuff. But I do appreciate each and every one of you. Tell me in the comments, what's some of the things you struggle with? Have you forgotten to read the instructions? Were you able to bounce back from that? And all of that, like to see your comments on that. But thanks. And those of you who are new, feel free to subscribe. This channel is all about helping new notaries out, as well as senior notaries. We're here for you 100%. So y'all have a good one. Be safe out there. Talk to y'all later. Peace.